Okay, so I'm thinking of starting to make a series of videos to help people to understand music theory a little better. Coming from a very beginner status of not really understanding anything. I mean, I hope somebody lands on this video that doesn't even understand what the word music theory even means. All the way up to being able to make your own songs and stuff if you want. So this is gonna be very lousy video quality because of right now. I'm gonna be trying to do it while I'm working a paper route in the mornings, right? And I really just don't have time to sit in my house in my studio too much, but I really want to help people out, and though I want to be able to say that it's me that's hot. Hold on.
No, it's not you.
I'm hot. How does my other video from my phone play? Anyway, yeah, I'm out here in the wee hours of the morning. I'm throwing newspapers and stuff, and it's a nice time for me to be able to have some quiet time to think and talk, right? But the footage of the videos may not be good, but the concepts are good. So anyway, this is going to be the first video. Let's talk about it. All right, forgive my video quality once again, but let's talk about some music theory. Like, what is music theory anyway? What is music theory? Music theory is, and again, I'm not going to be using necessarily textbook knowledge, okay? So if you're one of those, like, according to my calculations kind of guys, maybe this is not for you, right? If you know it all, maybe this is not for you too. I'm open to criticism if I get something wrong. But listen, I'm just a regular guy. I'm not a music professor. I'm not a professional musician, but I have been playing guitar for 25 years. What did Robert De Niro say in that movie? I know a thing or two about a thing or two. Something like that, right? I know a thing or two about this stuff, right? So I'm trying to teach here functional knowledge and ways to think, okay? Functional knowledge and ways to think about music. Now, again, I assume you know nothing. I'm going to start from the very beginning. What is music theory? In my opinion, music theory is simply the study of how music works. Music, like many things in life, has rules and principles. It has things about it that are true, that can be discovered, that can be studied, that can be understood. Music is very, let's say, and I don't want to chase people away with this word, but it can at times be sort of mathematical. That being stated, unless you're some type of a savant, you probably don't see colors and hear music to numbers, right? I know I don't. And I've always been pretty decent with numbers, but music is a lot more fun than numbers. Understanding notes. We all understand music to an extent, on an intuitive level. We understand that forgive me if I get interrupted at time. I am working as I muse here with you. We all grew up with the Flintstones, right? And all that, right? So right there, you got this music. Music theory would be you taking that melody and trying to figure out, how does that work? Oh, okay, I see. How does that work? So what it means then is, yes, you can come up with that melody. Yes, you can sing it. You can play it on an instrument. And you don't necessarily need to understand what you're doing. It's like every note. Like every note there has a name assigned to it. So just like if I have my car right here, right? That's called a door. It's an open door. That's a closed door. That's a tire, right? Things like this. There's a rim on a tire. We name things. If you don't know what the name of the rim is, you don't know that it's called a rim, it doesn't matter. It's still a rim. It will still function. Likewise, all of them notes in that melody, first of all, that's called a melody, which means something. It's a string of notes. Each note that you're singing is called a note, but each note also has names, and names are assigned letters in the musical, what's called the musical alphabet. And so what happens is, the musical alphabet is built through like the notes are whatever they are. Like I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, I believe in God, right? I believe God made like everything. So in my perspective, like, right, everything's been created. Notes are whatever they are. Notes are something that exists in reality. So they are whatever they are. We're just trying to... You need to give things names. Because if you don't, then you're going to just be like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know that thing. You know what I mean? Like about everything. Like I'm wearing one of these, one of these things, you know? And I got one of these things on my face, you know? You know what I mean? Like one of these things. Like we say that about everything. So like we need to name. We need to give things names. So like even if you're not looking at me, you know, like this, and my hat is on my head, and my nose is on my head too, right? Like this. So this is why we give things names, so we can know what each other are talking about. This is what we do in music. The notes are whatever they are. They exist in reality. Again, I believe they're created by God. There's laws of physics that dictates why each note sounds the way it is. And you know, technically that could be a part of music theory too, because according to my definition anyway, because that's how you're studying how do notes work. And you have to forgive me for like the way I think, but I'm not sorry. Like, this is just how I am. I'm actually, let's say I went through school and I was originally a scientist, a chemist by trade. Okay, so I think very scientific. I'm a scientist. And I apply my understanding of science to things as I look at them. Notes are created by things that vibrate. When things vibrate, they create frequencies, and this determines the notes. Okay? This whole science says wavelength, frequency, blah, 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 amplitude. And you can measure how fast is it vibrating. If it vibrates faster, the pitch goes up. If it vibrates slower, the pitch goes down. That's how it works, basically, right? Long and short of it. But we don't need to care about all of that if we're just trying to learn how to make we're trying to play the Flintstones melody. We don't need to understand, we don't need to like go into all of that. Just suffice it to understand that there are things called notes, which can each be assigned what we call a pitch. So something is high pitch You say, oh, you have a high-pitched voice. If I talk like this all the time, we have a high-pitched voice. But I play. I remember, like, when I was in high school, I played football, right, for 4 years. I scored four touchdowns. Nah, I didn't score no 4 touchdowns like somebody, but like I did play for 4 years, and like I was okay. But like there was this guy on my team when we were in JV, junior varsity, and we were like 14, 15, you know. Some of us had beards and everything. And there was this guy that he talked like this all the time. Oh boy, it was rough to be him. But like I gotta give it to the guy. He didn't leave, he didn't quit, he didn't have no shame. I remember I ran into him one time, you know, in my neighborhood. Like it turns out he lived on the next block and I didn't even know. Like I ran into him one time and like he was like, "What's up?" He had finally come into his own, you know. So yeah. But you have high pitch, and you have low pitch. What's up? How you doing? What's up, man? What's good? And all that, right? Now, you have to forgive me. I'm from New York, so as if you couldn't tell already by the way I talk. Anyway, high pitch is higher notes. You could sing higher notes. You can play on a violin higher notes. You could play on a piano higher note. You could play lower notes. Right? High, low. Okay. So, but the thing is, they're given actual names according to what we call the musical alphabet. And I have like this dumb video that I put out. It's not dumb, but like I did it. Oh, well, I haven't been publishing forever. My life is crazy, right? So like I have this little gig that I'm doing in the mornings. I figure whatever, like I can't publish, but like who knows who will land on this and like be like, oh, I get it now. Like, and like they can actually feel like they can approach this thing. That would be a great blessing to me if I know that I could be a blessing to you that way, right? So I'm just gonna do it like this, very informal for now, and we'll see where it goes. But yeah, I did this video back then that was very like silly, but not really, because everything I do is a method to my madness, you know. And I don't have no light back there. I was saying there's a method to my madness, right? And like I was just trying to show how easy it is, how simple it is. You already know the letters of the alphabet, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So if you know that, then you know. Then you know if then you already know the letters of the musical alphabet. It's just that it goes from A to G and then it starts repeating again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. By the way, I'm singing a melody as I say those letters. A melody is a string of notes. Okay? Several notes or so after one another. Let's keep things simple. So you're doing notes like beads on a string, one after another. That's a melody. And we learned the alphabet by singing. We learned the alphabet by singing notes. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? But instead of going H, I, J, K, M, N, M, P, as we all did, we say A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 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 Hang on, more feeling, more feeling. A, B, C, D. Right? It just goes from A to G over and over again. A to G, okay? So congrats. You now know the musical alphabet. For extra points, you can annoy your family by singing singing it like how I just did. I don't recommend it. I've never done it. I've never done it like that. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 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 Oh, that was a high note right there. High pitch. Okay. It's kind of making sense now. Okay, cool. All right. So let's go to the next thing. Let's go to the next thing. That's not the full story of the notes, but that's all I'm gonna leave in this video. If you want to know more about, I'm gonna do a shameless promotion now of my channel. If you want to know more about the musical alphabet, you could go watch these other videos that I haven't made yet. Later, after you find it. I'm predicting the future. In the future, you're gonna want to know more about the musical alphabet, and then you're gonna go to watch my other videos where, well, you're gonna watch, this is the #1 video. You're gonna watch future videos so you can learn more music theory. I think this is a pretty cool way to learn, because you know what? How often do you get to hang out with a 26 year self-taught musician who's played, you know, I've played with other musicians before, right? It's not like I've just been in my house. I'm not a professional, but I played with professionals. You know what I'm saying? Like I was on my worship team, and then I became the worship team sort of like leader. And then, so I had like all the musicians, like I had to teach, you know, when you're in a small church and like nobody, just like nothing hardly, and you have to build programs, like, you know, you have to take the teenagers and teach them. So I showed kids how to play the bass, how to play the drums, and not even how, but necessarily, but like just to get people playing. That's sort of what the purpose of this channel has been for me. I went out there pretty hard and nobody watched too much, like how I hoped. It didn't grow as fast, the channel, is what I mean. And but I keep having to come back because I don't really, it kind of almost doesn't matter to me. I want the channel to grow. I wish I could do this all the time, just like I was doing back then, but to reach more people than just like you know, the kids in the worship team. And we did like summer camps and stuff like this, and I did some music programs, and I taught really loads of kids how to memorize keys on the piano, all the stuff I'll be talking about here. It was really fun. It was really special time of my life. And I'd like to be able to do that again here, to be able to dedicate more time. But to be able to dedicate time requires, you know, money. And so, like many musicians, money has not been the easiest thing for me. Had a lot of setbacks. I don't want to go into my whole life story, but yeah, you know, find yourself throwing some newspapers, probably had a couple setbacks. Some people have probably disappointed you, despite your best efforts and things like that. So, you know, I'm just a guy doing the best I can with my situation. But I can't really teach as much as I'd like because of time and money. Just like a lot of people, I'm sure many of you who will land on this video, if many people, and I hope many people do, many of you will be able to relate, especially in the times that we're living in now. But anyway, that doesn't mean we stop doing good, right? Doesn't mean we stop trying. So this is my first effort to try to get back active on this channel and to bless somebody with more the understanding that I've been blessed with, to be able to understand music better. My goal is to make approaching music, and in particularly the guitar, but it really applies, what I'm talking about applies to all music. I want to make it easier to approach because we all naturally love music, but it's very hard to understand music. And so I've been given the gift, I believe, and I've been told that to explain things clearly, that when I speak, my communication is fairly clear. And so I have a talent, sort of knack for taking complicated things and explaining them in a simple way. And to be honest and fair, the only reason that that's true is because that's what I need to do to understand it myself. When stuff is complex, I need to make it very simple, or else it becomes kind of unapproachable to me. And I think a lot of people are like that. So the whole goal is to get you unstuck from where you're stuck and to move forward, and for you to be able to move forward into music and into music theory without it being necessarily, it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to feel impossible, is what I'm saying. Like, you can learn music theory. You, the person listening to this right now, I'm telling you, you could do it. Hang around, like, hang around and watch my dumb videos of me delivering newspapers when it's still dark, and suffer my dumb, corny jokes, and you'll be able to approach this stuff. I'm telling you, you'll be able to at least now go to maybe the textbooks or to some other guy, like gurus on YouTube and whatnot, that are like, you know, all like ridiculous in their knowledge, and you'll be able to like look at their stuff and sort of understand what you're looking at because you have the foundations. Okay, this is my first video. My other videos might not be this long, and I might not talk about as many things, but it's been a while. And I'm like those old people. You ever talk to old people like that are really old? No offense if you're really old, but it just is what it is. I'm making observations about life. Like really, really old people, a lot of times they're lonely, you know? They kind of did everything in life, and their kids moved out and everything, and maybe they retired, and they don't have really much. They don't have much to do, to be honest. Like, maybe they're okay, right? But they have problems like everybody, like dealing with health issues and whatnot. But like, to me, like I meet a lot of people when I'm out here doing this gig, this work that I'm doing here. I meet a lot of people that are really lonely, and they like to talk. Like, I call it like getting caught. Like, they catch me and they want to talk, right? So like, they got a lot to say, they got a lot to get off their chest. And then like when they've talked and you're like, yeah, and you know, and you entertain them. When they're done saying whatever they got to say and they feel like they've gotten certain stuff off their chest, then they're just done with you, like you're dismissed. So, you know, we all want to feel important. And they want to feel important, they want to feel heard. If you have any loved ones in your life, and you have functional, you know, like decent relationships with them, forgive me, I'm juggling here to go into a building. If you have relationships that are okay, you know, give them some of your time. Some of your older family members, give them time, you know. Be loving and give them your time to let them get stuff off their chest. Even if when they're done, they're like, all right, away with you, I'm done. It's okay, you know, because we all need somebody to be there for us in some type of a way at times. We all get lonely, and we all, you know, need each other in various ways. But anyway, I'm like one of those old guys. Come here, Sonny boy. I got something to say to you. I need to have a word with you. I got a lot to say. And my hope is that you'll be able to gain the insight to this subject material that I have. I'm just trying to share something with you that I already have, because like for me, I've achieved a level where music theory, at least the music theory that I care for more, which is the foundations, the principles, it's like, it's easy for me. It's not something that's like really annoying to think about, or something where I feel fear to think about it. Now, if I start to go into some more advanced music theory, yes, it feels unapproachable. So I get it. But the part that I already find to be super easy, that's the part that I want to make it feel easy for you. I want you to have what I have, okay? I want to share what I already have with you so you can enjoy what it's like for it to be so easy, okay? Now, again, music theory, and I've seen that my videos come into close to half an hour, so I'm gonna cut it off here, and I'll come back on the next video and continue to maybe rant less, but not rant, but like, you know, philosophize less. But I wanted to put a little bit of a philosophy, of way of looking at things, because the way you frame things sort of filters the way you look at things. And I just understand, this doesn't have to be hard. Just hang around, listen to my nonsense. This is something you'll be able to just listen to when you can't necessarily watch, but you can learn the concepts, the foundational principles, like the foundations. You need to understand the foundations, the rudiments, to be able to understand anything. So we're gonna review real quick what I talked about today. In music, things can be understood in music. It's possible to understand. Let's make sure my phone doesn't cut off as I start up my car here, because it does that sometimes when I'm recording. I'm not making me hot. I'm not the one making me hot. Anyway, music can be taken and looked at and understood for what it is, just like anything else. In order to sort of start to understand things, we need to give various phenomena, let's say, names. So we have a name for how high or no, what? You have to forgive me. It's 5 something in the morning. For how high or low a note is, there's a name for that. It's called pitch. The actual sound that you hear and the pitch that it has is called a note. If you tie like beads on a string, several notes together, that's called a melody. Okay? And really, songs are made with melodies. They're made from melodies. And they're made from something else called harmony, which I will talk about in the future. But you need to understand that everything, the basic fundamental unit of music is the note, or pitches. Specific pitches that we call notes. That's the most fundamental or smallest unit. Technically, I'm probably wrong, but like, let's just say that, right? Because like, this is music theory for 5-year-olds, okay? Not really for 5-year-olds, but for those of us who want to think about it like a 5-year-old. So, you know, maybe it could be for 5-year-olds too, but we'll see. Like, at least when you learn it, you could teach the concepts yourself to a 5-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll understand it so well that you could teach it to a 5-year-old. And I know because I've done it before. I've taught this to 5-year-olds. And they understood it. Okay, so like, if you don't think that you could learn just from listening, like, trust me, if 5-year-olds could learn from what, like, you know, this kind of methodology, you'll be able to learn it too. No matter how, as what did my friend used to say in high school? He said that he's mentally challenged or something like that. Yo, I went to school with clowns. A lot of clowns. Haven't we all, right? Haven't we all? Good times. Anyway, oh no, he used to say, I'm mentally slow. Big dude. This dude was like 6'5". He was a huge monster. And like, but like, you know, like all of them. Big, giant stature, little soft heart on the inside. And like, he's like, I'm mentally slow. You're gonna have to explain that to me. You're gonna have to explain that to me simpler. Anyway, thank you for watching my video. I'm just some dude from the internet that's highly unlikely we'll ever get to know each other and stuff like this, but I hope that we can connect in some type of a way, and that I can make you, you know, laugh when you're in your car or whatever, in your house, prepping food or whatever. And you know, we're human. We need human interaction, just like them old people do. And this is kind of cool, right? Like the internet, YouTube land, and all this is kind of cool in a way. Like, there's a lot of downsides to it, but there's good, and we should seek what's good in everything, I believe. And it's kind of cool that we could listen to some like weirdo or whatever, some weirdo, I don't know that word, take back that word. Sometimes that word has really negative connotation, but like some like person that's a little quirky or whatever, because we all are. We're all like kind of weird in different ways. Or we might actually like kind of get the personality that's on the other side of the screen, we could sort of just appreciate, right, their humanity and stuff like this, and the fact that they experience the same things that we do. And so I'm grateful that if anybody watches this, that you're here, and that you would choose to, I'm humbled if you would choose to learn music theory from some guy that is just throwing newspapers, which is probably the only way I'm going to be able to do this for right now. Even though I have, you know, I have a little humble home studio, and I got 4 or 5 guitars and everything at home. You know, I got a Gibson, I got a Stevie Ray Vaughan Strat. I got some pretty cool stuff, you know. I mean, I don't have I haven't been the kind of person who has been able to acquire a lot of gear, but I'm grateful for what I had. Like, it's not like on the rest of the channel, there's all kind of stuff that I talked about and taught with the guitar itself, but this is going to be for music theory. Just some guy rambling about music theory, which is the attempt to understand how this music-y stuff works. Okay, for another definition. And I'm humbled that you're here, and I'm grateful for your time, and I hope that I can help you in some type of a way as you seek to understand this, and as you cross-reference with other materials so you can learn these concepts. My main goal is not to create here the strongest production or representation. In other words, I'm not trying to create strong presentation here, but my goal is to strongly present the concepts through the methodology of simplifying everything. So my strong presentation, or my value proposition here, is to offer simplicity of that which can be often, in my opinion, overcomplicated. Okay? And so my typical videos would probably be shorter than this, but even though they'll probably be longer, who knows, because I'm just out here and I got sort of nothing but time while I'm out here working. And I have a unique privilege in that I can do this while I'm working this, because I work for myself, and at least here, right? So I think it's better than nothing. I'm not trying to, it's not going to be perfect, but it's better. You being able to learn these concepts in this simple way is better than if I don't make this at all, I think. All right. And one other concept that I forgot in the review: the musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, over and over again. Okay. And as you go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, the notes are going higher in pitch. Okay. And when you get to the next A, it's higher in pitch than that. So it just keeps going up in pitch. I'll be going through all of this. Like, so in my videos, I don't know. This is sort of just a little experiment, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And the format may take a sort of life of its own. But this is going to be the first video, first iteration. And again, my name is Dan. This is the Guitar from the Heart channel. My goal in this channel is to eliminate all the barriers that stop people from being able to play music. You have it in your heart to be able to play music, right? If you're seeking understanding of music, you probably want to be able to play or to experience music in a better way. My goal is to eliminate barriers, roadblocks, obstacles, things that are blocking you from being able to experience music more naturally. So that's why I called it the channel Guitar from the Heart, because for me it's best when I'm playing the guitar from my heart and not having to to be able to do that without effort, without having to think about it. My goal has been to help others to experience that gift, that blessing that we can have in life if we become competent enough. But there's so many barriers, and one of the main ones is music theory. Lack of understanding in music, of how music works. So again, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you hopefully in a future video where I will continue to, in each video, add to the concepts. Had a couple here: pitch, notes, what are notes, what's the musical alphabet, a few things, right? So I'll say that's pretty good. Okay, I've been rambling for 40 minutes, but it's pretty good, because if you don't know any of this, now you know a couple things, and we'll add. Listen, they say, you know, at least in my town growing up, I often heard the saying, you are who you hang with, right? You are who you hang with. In other words, who's around you or who you spend time with will influence who you become, because you will become more like them. And so if you hang around this guy here, I don't want to berate myself. If you hang around me, you let me explain the stuff like I would to a 5-year-old, you're going to understand. You're going to understand this stuff, and then you'll be able to go on with your life and have competence, functional competence, not trivia, not a bunch of facts that you memorize, but you'll be able to actually use this stuff. And if that sounds good to you, hang around, and I'll be able to transfer my skill set to you. Be blessed. See you next time.